So I'm going to be a little controversial right now and talk about exercise. Specifically, exercise for weight loss. There are a lot of really good reasons to exercise. This is not an anti-exercise post video. But the idea that you can exercise yourself thin is mostly a myth. Just looking at the numbers. If you walk a mile, you burn about 62 point something calories for every 100 pounds you weigh. So a 500-pound person is going to burn about 300 calories walking a mile. And it's generally accepted that you need to burn about 3,500 calories to lose a pound. Now that number may vary a bit. Let's just call it 3,000. So you got to walk 10 miles to lose a pound. That's not saying there's nothing wrong with walking. Walking is very good for you. Walking is good for your joints. It could get them moving around. It's very good for your heart and your lungs. And don't not exercise. Just don't kid yourself into thinking that you can exercise yourself thin. One of the biggest places that people burn calories is just simply being alive. Now, one of the books that I read, and I believe it was Protein Power, it's by some doctors, it went through a whole thing where you had to calculate your lean muscle mass, and it may have actually even have been from Deal-A-Meal, which is a Richard Simmons product. Anyway, you had to calculate your lean muscle mass, and there was to measure your wrist and your weight and your waist and your pinch here and squeeze there. And like most things, when you get too big, you're off the chart. You know, it goes up, oh, if you're up to, you know, here's the chart, and it stops at like 300 and something pounds, and, you know, you're 500 something pounds, so you got to kind of guess and extrapolate, and it says you're 125% fat, which is impossible, so whatever. Anyway, your lean muscle mass, that's your body that isn't fat. So the part of your body that isn't fat is all the, you know, it's your muscles, it's your heart, it's your lungs, it's your all your innards and everything. That part needs energy to live, and that's the part you have to feed. And if you don't feed it enough, it pulls in the reserves, which is what you want to happen. And so that is maybe around, and again, that varies depending on your size, it varies depending upon your frame, it varies depending upon whether you're a man or a woman. But, you know, maybe 2,000, 2,500, even up to 3,000 calories a day is what you burn just by being alive. So if you eat less than that, and make sure you're eating good food, that's also very important. Mostly protein, not so much carbs. Then your body has to draw on the reserve just to be alive. So you have, like, let's say 1,200 calories. Well, now you have like a 1,200 calorie deficit every day. And over 3 days, there's your 1 pound. Now, obviously you can burn more than that, and some people do. But just eating good but eating less, and teaching yourself to eat good and eat less. Water, coffee, tea, that helps fill the gaps. But really, you're going to have to probably go through a few days of just feeling hungry if you eat less food. And then just the mere fact of your body existing is going to burn it off. Like I said, exercise is good. Now, the other myth that comes up is, well, muscle weighs more than fat. Well, yes, muscle weighs more than fat. But if you're gaining weight, when you're gaining muscle, you're still gaining weight. You don't gain weight by exercising. You gain weight by bringing in more food than you're burning. Elite athletes at most sports, I mean almost every sport, they can eat a lot, especially in season, especially in training. I mean, football players probably eat close to 10,000 calories. Basketball players, I'm sure, as much because they run around like crazy. They're not heavy, they're not hitting people, but boy, do they run for that time they're on the court. Yeah, easily they burn that much. Easily in season, they might eat 10,000 calories a day, but they burn it. and they burn it because they work very, 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 very hard. The Biggest Loser show, they train those people extremely, extremely hard. The level of professional athletes they train them. If you've ever seen some of the shows, they very seldom, but occasionally they look in the background, like go into what's going on in the real world with them, is they spend, 8 hours a day working out and 8 hours a day, icing their joints or putting heat on their joints because of how much strain they put their bodies under. You can't do that. You won't sustain that. They sustain that because they have the motivation to be on TV. They sustain it because they have the motivation of a prize money. They sustain that because they have trainers and producers and everybody telling them to do it. It's self-motivating to torture yourself like that is not good, and it's going to perhaps push you to give up. So yeah, I'm getting some good comments. Intermittent fasting. I've actually done that. I do that sometimes. It's a good plan as long as you can keep your brain on not going, oh, well, I fasted, therefore I can go eat a bag of chips. Or I ate a bag of chips, so now I can fast to undo it. I know I have been guilty of that thinking. But the main thing is to make sure it's a consistent thing that you can stick to. And find what works for you. What works for me may not work for you. I'm telling you what I have gone through. I'm telling you what I'm going through. It's my experience. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. I'm telling you things that I have read, things that I have learned. But it's not professional advice. It's just my personal experience and my knowledge that I have acquired. And I'm not an expert. And I don't pretend to be an expert. If I was an expert, would I be still almost 500 pounds? No. If I was an expert, I wouldn't have ever gotten this bad. So, thank you for listening. It's Thursday, so a little late on the midweek update, but we'll keep you up to date. Have my coffee. Cheers to you. Keep yourself happy. I went to the beach. I did some filming. I don't think there's any way I might be able to throw a little bit of it in. Went to the beach with my kids and some of their friends. It was fun. So yeah, do think fresh air. Fresh air is incredibly healthy for you. Now, if you're in the city where there's pollution, maybe not so much, but get yourself with some good fresh air. Fill your lungs with it. Do some walking. Yes, of course, exercise. Like I said, exercise is good for a lot of reasons, but the idea that you're going to walk yourself thin isn't true. Walk yourself healthy. Yes, that is true. Anyway, until the way in. Here we are, Glass Beach, Fort Bragg, looking at the ocean.
Did you get the back of your neck?
Well, about to start a new adventure. So this is a summary, but also, if you can hear my printer, maybe you can't. So, you may know I've been trying to become a substitute teacher, and finally went through all the process. A bit overly confusing. They tended to send you an email with a bunch of extraneous information, but somewhere hidden in there was an important link you were supposed to click. Anyway, finally figured out all the places I'm supposed to go, finally did all the things I'm supposed to do, and now have my permit to be a substitute teacher. Unfortunately, I started the application with a school district where I lived, but then I moved. So it is now neither the school district where I live, nor would my children go to school. So I'm probably not going to actually teach there. But since I now have my permit, I applied for where I lived. And I called them yesterday and to just see what's going on. And they said, yes, we got your application and we need you to come finish up the paperwork and everything. Wonderful. Then I got a phone call back and they said, we need you to start Tuesday, so you need to go get your fingerprints done, which is what I just printed out, a form to go get my fingerprints done. It's very confusing. You have to get your fingerprints done for the state level and then again for the school district level. And I'm not sure why, because it's the same information coming from the same place. Anyway, so I'm going to be teaching. It's kind of scary. We'll see how it goes. And anyway, so this week there were some failures. The teenagers did the shopping for the picnic was the biggest problem. And so they got a lot of chips and cookies and, of course, no healthy snacks whatsoever. There was food. Oh, that's broken. Great. There was food, but no healthy snacks. Anyway, but I still did okay. I could have done better, which is kind of a good thing. So it's 492.2. So that's a little bit under 3 pounds lost. So that's good. But like I said, I know it could be better. So we'll see how it goes this coming week. And just take care. And I hope you didn't get the wrong idea from my thing about exercising. Exercise, yes. Yes, just don't exercise thinking that you're going to walk around the block and step on the scale and have lost a significant amount of weight. It's not going to work that way, and it's going to frustrate you, and you're going to give up. No, exercise for health, for your lungs, for your heart, for your joints, for all kinds of things. But it's probably not going to be reflected on the scale. Yes, you're going to be burning some calories, but it's not going to be the main cause of your weight loss. You're really going to have to look towards what you eat and how much you eat for the weight loss. So as always, please, thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for the comments. I do read them. I do appreciate them. Please like this if you like this. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please share this. The community is growing very small. It's a small community. It's growing. Didn't say that very well. It's a small community, but it's growing. And I like to know that I'm not alone. And I like for people who are on a similar journey to know they're not alone. Thank you so much